Hi, thou art that. You asked in a comment in my reply to you, the other reply to this same video, what if God is a feeling? Well, this is right in line with what I'm saying. I mean, the term has to have something that it references, and there's more than one thing. We have the God that is creator abstraction. We have it being a feeling, maybe hopefully a good feeling. God is love. Um, God is the abstraction of an authority. These things are related, but also could be seen as separate. And to a certain degree, the most productive thing is to realize that they are separate, that we put a lot of different meanings in a word that gets a certain kind of power. We find other things we want to have that same power. Now, what is the power of calling it God? There is a worship, and it's beyond merely revering something or having a great deal of respect for something. For example, the closest for me, I think it was Kevin that presented the idea that we use God as a abstract for nature. That certainly people that don't believe in God, if they were to say something like God willing, then they would mean something about, well, nature or fate, or the possibilities of life are going to turn out that way. But if God is a feeling, then we misidentify the feeling when we call it God. All we're doing is by calling that feeling God, we're giving it some sort of primacy. Now, I've said I do believe there's a spiritual feeling, and there's a feeling of enlightenment. Enlightenment is a feeling. Um, and yet, you can have eating disorder and have the feeling of hunger in a dysfunctional way. And you can have an enlightenment disorder and the feeling of enlightenment in a dysfunctional way. It doesn't mean that you can't sort out what in real life ought to have that feeling of enlightenment. And to me, those are feelings of connection with the greater self, uh, identification as part of a system. The whole biosphere. You can be more enlightened about how you treat your fellow countrymen or your fellow humans, or these are all levels of self co-identification that relate to me to enlightenment and to an increased enlightenment. So yeah, I think there is a feeling associated with God. There's a feeling associated with enlightenment, and these are have to do with a spiritual feeling, which I think there are probably many, and these are abstractions that are programmed into our brain to draw us to study and be motivated to think about certain facts and systems that we're a part of, and that's how we should sort them out. And at no point should we take these. There's enough problem with an enlightenment dysfunction than uh, than that we could solve than with calling it God, which really puts the meaning somewhere that it can't properly be considered. So there could be certain feelings, and those could be the fundament of your philosophy. But the point that you call them uh, God and make it into a religion, then you're going to fanatically worship something or be prone to that you don't really want to have that sort of reaction to, because there's nothing you want to have that sort of reaction to. And ultimately, everything is a feeling. If you are to worship something in the material world, like the color blue is your God, that's a feeling. You could try to make that a worship of something material, but the fact is, you're going to end up actually be worshiping the feeling that you get looking at the color blue. So, yeah, it could be a feeling, but the point is, whatever it is, find the baby and throw out the bathwater. Take the baby out. I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm totally against that. I don't say just because we found out I believe there's no metaphysics and nothing to worship and no God, I don't say throw out the spiritual feeling. Okay? If you don't feed yourself spiritually, then you'll have a real spiritual starvation. And yet, if you feed yourself in a gluttonous way, or you get all high on the feeling of enlightenment and you find out, hey, there's tricks to have that feeling without actually materially benefiting from the material signs of enlightenment, becoming a more peaceful person with the world around you, more integrated, and making more material solutions out of the situations that are not acceptable as they are. So anyway, I just thought that deserved more of an answer. Cheers. Nice to be talking to you.